Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanessa and you are watching the Exploring Oracle, or the Exploracle for short. So, I am recording this in 2024, but I do believe this will be my first video of 2025. And so with that, Happy New Year everyone. Can you believe that it's been another year? It's 2025 and I'm really excited about this year. 2024 was a mix for me, really busy, especially during the second half of the year. It was crazy. But yeah, it's a new year and I'm really hoping that this one is a great one for everyone. Anyway, to start off this video, let's talk about this Oracle deck. This is a mass market Oracle deck called the Wisdom Keepers Oracle Deck and Inner Guidebook, 64 Phases of Awakening. So it includes 65 Oracle cards and a 165-page guidebook. So there is a bonus card I'll show you later. But let's take a look at the back. Okay, so it says, gazing into the 64 phases of awakening is a unique contemplative door to an inner space of surrender and serenity. Work with these wisdom keepers in your daily life, and you will open up this secret door inside your heart. They are here to soothe and soften the soul and to involve the very best of our human qualities and aspirations. The cards are extraordinary. So, I'll just show you. It's a little hard for me to read, not gonna lie, but that's because I have bad eyesight. So let me just pause it here and you can continue to read when you do have time. It also refers you to a website, wisdomkeepers.net, thedreammark.com. Alright, so I wanted to show you this deck. This is what the inside looks like. This is the guidebook. So in the guidebook, you have introduction to the Wisdom Keepers. It tells you about the human face, the creative process, the birth of the stories, the keys, the gem keys, how to approach the Wisdom Keepers, and then the 65 Wisdom Speakers speak. So it has an entry in the table of contents for each of the cards. So you have here a view of the keywords as well. Then you have some card spreads and understanding the color code. So it's not colored, the guidebook, but it is in this like glossy paper. So we have here some information. And it also explains that in each of the messages here, so for each of the cards, you have here a keyword for gift, the shadow, and the CD. It is explained here. So for shadow, when we are worried about our survival and fears in the driver's seat, we find ourselves in shadow territory. Then you have the gift, when we are oriented towards serving others and honoring ourselves, then protecting and defending ourselves. We more naturally share our gifts with others and feel a sense of belonging. And the CD, when we have entered a pure state of expansion and have completely surrendered our sense of separateness into the whole, we have entered the realm of the CD. And you also have here additional prompts, additional questions, and here it tells you that for each card you have a number, 3 words. So the gift, the shadow, and the CD. You have symbols, a wisdom story, a gift for you, and then questions for contemplation. And that is how it is for each of the cards. So the keywords, the story, the gift, and the questions. Which, as you know, if you have been watching my channel long, these are the types of Oracle decks that I enjoy because there's a lot of prompts. I enjoy working with prompts whenever I have time for journaling, whenever I have time to contemplate and to reflect. I do enjoy working with them. Okay, so these are the cards. They are glossy, a little bit glossy here. I have edged my copy in this color to match the back, so it does not come edged, and it is bigger than standard tarot size. Snaps back quite well. Let me just get a tarot size so you have an idea. So this is how big it is compared to a standard tarot. And then at the last part of the deck, you do have this mirror kind thing. So you see my phone, you see my ring light. I'm trying not to show myself because I look crazy, but yeah, I think I do like that because it is like it does seem like it's telling you that you are also a wisdom keeper. You also have your story that you can share and work through and talk about. And yeah, I like that concept. Okay, so let me zoom in, but I don't have to zoom in by much, so we can take a closer look at the cards. All right, so it is borderless, and it's just a face and the keyword, but it is a powerful deck. I love this deck. I love the book. I love the write-ups. I love reading with it. I think I've read with this deck for maximum 5 times this year. But for each reading, it made me emotional. It made me really understand the message. It was just the right message at the time that I needed it. So I think this deck is really special. And at first, I didn't think I would enjoy it because it's mostly faces. It's just faces, not mostly faces. It's just faces looking up at you. But there's a lot of wisdom, it makes me calm. It makes me want to learn about the wisdom that these images show. Again, one of those decks that give me goosebumps when I look at it, when I work with it. And it's not a lot. I mean, I have over 300 decks, but I can count in my 2 hands how many decks make me feel this way. So this is a special deck. So let me just read the keywords from here on out. But as always, feel free to slow down, speed up, or pause if you want to take a closer look at the cards. Versatility, farsightedness. This is a keyword you barely see, or I think this is the only place I've seen that. I am farsighted with astigmatism, so I have extreme hyperopia and astigmatism. Integrity, sensitivity, self-assurance, authority. I can't wait to pull a card from this deck and read the entry from the guidebook because I think that's where it shines. Graciousness. I have used the book as well, in a bibliomancy manner. Just scroll through the pages and land on the one that I want to read from. Simplicity. And the message was still spot on, so I do really love this, and I love the guidebook. Invention, acceptance, artfulness, altruism, totality, commitment, lightness, leadership, preservation, mindfulness, strength, adventure, humanity, equality, perseverance, dynamism, resolve, anticipation, non-attachment, insight, teamwork, synergy, delight, transmutation, resourcefulness, revolution, equilibrium, initiative, restraint, expansion, aspiration, freedom, enrichment, intuition, vitality, intimacy, realism, inspiration, precision, inquiry. I think this is the last card, imagination, and a mirror. Okay, so I zoomed out again just so you see how this shuffles. Oh, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. But it is a big deck. And actually, I do have trouble shuffling this. So usually I just drop it like that. It works. Shuffle however you want, or whatever is comfortable for you. But for me, since it is a big deck, I tend to shuffle it more this way, overhand, because I have trouble riffle shuffling this deck. Which is why I actually resort to bibliomancy at times, because it's hard for me to get a jumper here. But let's try. And, or maybe let's just pick a card. And of course it's the mirror. Let me put that here because it's not something that I use a lot. And then maybe let's pick another card. Restraint. Okay, so let's read for restraint. Okay, that is number 52. I like that it's numbered. It's a lot easier to get to the entry. Okay, so the gift is restraint, the shadow is stress, and the city is stillness. My wisdom story. As a young farm boy, I dreamed of a bigger life. I was a ravenous reader, and it didn't take long before I started writing myself. By some stroke of luck, in my early 20s, I wrote a fast-paced historical fiction novel that was discovered by a major publisher and raced straight to the top of the bestseller list. As soon as I received my first royalty check, I moved to the big city, where I was invited into a hip workspace full of cutting-edge writers. It was in that bustling space that I wrote my second novel. To my dismay, it was a flop. My fans complained. My best critics wrote hurtful reviews, and my publishers threatened to pull my next contract unless I could guarantee another hit. As I faced my next project, I was paralyzed with fear. My hip workspace suddenly felt chaotic and noisy. Stressed out and stuck, I spent hours staring at a blank screen, my mind racing with loads of self-doubt and no inspiration. I got so desperate, I started reading books about how to write bestsellers. Though I tried to follow the templates, nothing worked. My restlessness grew to the point where I couldn't sit still. Finally exploding from the pressure, I kicked my desk, abandoned the building and my contract. I took the first flight out and ended up on a small island where I rented a tiny house in the country and spent months burned out and depressed. At one point, I started gardening. For weeks, my hands were deep in the earth, and my mind's only concern was how to make plants grow. As my body and soul adjusted to a slower-paced life, I learned that while I could enhance a plant's growth with gardening techniques, most of the time plants knew perfectly well how to grow. They had their own timing. I also noticed that when I was in a good mood while planting seeds, the plants seemed to do better. Such small realizations reawakened the philosopher and writer in me. This time I was inspired to write poems, each word like a flower. When I felt strong enough to go back to the big city and clean up my mess, I realized that the stress I'd felt there wasn't just mine. It was everywhere and everyone's. My heart went out to humanity, and I knew my next book would illuminate the impact of stress on all of us. My writing would serve the planet. This time, I trusted the right words, and all of the inspiration I'd need would come at just the right time. My gift to you. I come to relieve you of your stress and to remind you that everything in nature, including you, has its own timing and growth pattern. Your intention are like seeds. If you start something from a place of fear, the seed of that fear will permeate the entire endeavor. So if you want your dreams to grow and thrive, just hold a clear intention, infuse it with goodwill, and trust that your dreams know just how and when to bloom. It's time to befriend restraint. Practice patience. Learn how not to interfere. Let your life and dreams unfold without too much pushing and prodding. And remember, more often than not, growth and transformation take the place below ground, and the greatest seeds take the longest to germinate. So, isn't that very inspirational? Or I just love the messages here. And you do have extra questions for contemplation. Where are you feeling most restless and impatient? Where do you feel most stuck? What are the ways you experience and express stress? Is your body currently showing signs of burnout? Think of a time you practiced restraint and paid off. Reflect upon a current project. How can you reinfuse it with goodwill and a loving intention? And what is a simple way you can reconnect with stillness today? So, this type of deck, just right up my alley, something that I enjoy working with, something that I need. Honestly, that message for me feels for me. I mean, at least the gift to you, and the questions for contemplation. You know, it's been a busy year. It's been I think I've been saying that for most of my videos this year, and just yeah, I think I needed to hear that message, and maybe you do too. So yeah, this deck has a special place in my heart. I'm so glad I got this year. It's quite new. It actually didn't make it to my collections video because I just got it in the second half of this year. But I do treasure it, and I do think that we have a long way to go and many more messages and learnings to learn and to get through. Anyway, that has been the flip through of the Wisdom Keepers Oracle deck. I hope you find this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to click on the like button and do consider subscribing to my channel. See you again next time. Bye!